Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stafford Challenge Anthology book launch. Here we are. We did it. Woohoo! I'm so excited. So this is a little bit different than our normal like guest poet presentations and such like that, because in this you're the stars, and a handful of you are going to be reading. How many of you give like a little reaction of like a thumbs up? How many of you are in the anthology? Like you're here and you're in the anthology. You can either give like a thumbs up reaction or oh my gosh, look at this. Look at all these. This is so great. This is so great. I'll give a thumbs up too because I'm in it as well. How many of you have received your anthology already? Give a thumbs up. If you have it with you, show it on the screen. Oh, look at this. Look at the screens being filled with the anthology covers. I love this. So, this is a really, for me at least, and I know from getting messages from many of you that this is a pretty big deal, and it's been a lot of work. I mean, if you think about this. So let me just start by telling you this. You all have heard the story how the Stafford Challenge started. You all have heard about that infamous long hot shower that I was in when the download for the challenge came through. What I never said is that right at that same moment, one of the ideas was like, oh, and then at the end, we can have an anthology. So right at that moment, the anthology was born, like right next to the idea of the Stafford Challenge itself. Um, but I didn't know if I was really going to do it. I had no idea. And as it was getting kind of summer of last year, we were in the middle of our first year, and it was around the summer, I started getting messages from a number of you that was like, I have an idea. What if we did an anthology? And it was great. There were so many that were starting to write and say, we need an anthology. And I love the idea. Um, but I also knew that putting together an anthology is a lot of work, a lot of work. So I wasn't convinced 100% that I really had it in me to be able to put that energy and effort into it until we got close to the end, and I was like, you know what? We need this. We need this, and the world wants this. The world wants to see what we've done, right? Some of the work and to learn more and just a space for those of us that are interested in getting our words out there, a platform for that. And I wanted that for all of you. And so I said, yes, let's do it. And I put it out that I was just going to do an ebook. It was just going to be for us. It was going to be an ebook and everything like that. And then I got a message from the poet, one of the Stafford Challenge poets, Regina Beach. And she said, hey, do you need support with this anthology? I have done a lot of anthologies with the London Writers Salon and other places, and I'd be willing to help you out. And I said yes. And she really became a mentor for me on how to put together a book and how to really do an anthology. And she's the one who said, if you're putting in the effort to do an ebook, it's not that much more effort to do a physical book. And I said, okay, let's do this thing. It ended up being a lot of effort to do both a physical book and an ebook. And it was months and months and months of work with Gina and myself and Jennifer White, who really helped kind of organize some of it, as well as Todd McCoy. And I don't know if Gina or Jennifer or Todd are on here, but Todd McCoy has his own small press, and he's the one. who did the interior book design, which is so beautiful and professional looking. And that was really all Todd McCoy's work. So I give a lot of props to Todd. I give a lot of props to Gina, give props to Jennifer, and I'm so grateful for them. And because of them and because of the work that we did, this book, this amazing, amazing anthology came into existence. And I just want to say a little bit more, and then we'll get into the poems, and some people reading the poems. But the um, couple of things that were, I just lost my train of thought, exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say something about that. Um, yeah, whatever. Whatever it was, if it comes again, I'll share that story with you. Um, but I want to go ahead and if you haven't gotten the book yet, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful just work of art of everything that we did over the last year coming together, over 200 poets. And it's all of you, right? I mean, it's whether you're in it or not, it's you or your community. Um, and and here we are. So thank you everyone for trusting me with your work, for trusting me with your poems. And because of that, we're able to put this out into the world.
Evan.
So let's do a couple of ground rules for this. We're going to do, I'm going to announce kind of who the readers are, and then we're going to get going. So here's a couple of things. One thing that is a little bit different than the guest poets is everyone has the ability to unmute. I'm asking you not to unmute unless you're specifically asked to, but your mute is not locked. So because of that, if you do unmute, pay attention to that and be sure to mute again. So when the readers are reading, there's not any disruption. We're going to have 10 readers that have been pre-selected who are going to be reading their work from the book. And then when they're done, depending on the time, I think we're going to have time for like two more poets to be able to read who haven't been chosen yet. So if you're interested and you're not one of the original 10 at that time, I'll ask you to kind of raise your hand and I'll just randomly, pick from the people who are requesting that. Um, if you are one of the readers, um, basically this is how it's going to happen is I'm gonna introduce you just by your name. You're going to unmute yourself. You're going to introduce yourself, say your name, where you live, where you're from, then the title of the poem, and then you'll read the poem. And when they're finished, you're going to take a pause. So this is a kind of a performer's thing, after you're done reading, before you just kind of go off or whatever, just take a pause for a moment. And the rest of us, we're going to give what I'm going to call outrageous support. Everyone who reads and gets up in front of people and does that vulnerable dance is being brave, and it is on us to give outrageous support. And we do that by giving our finger wiggles. We're going to do that at the bottom of your screen. There's the reaction button, and you can give a reaction like I just did that one, or a thumbs up, or hearts. You can give a reaction and really let the person who read know how much you appreciate them and their words and giving us that gift. Does that all make sense? Cool. So the readers, I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be reading. We have Marilyn Johnston, and then Gail Hathaway, Amy Lee Ann Richardson. I mean, some of these names are so familiar, aren't they? Um, Susan Heifley, Seth Warren, Karen Evans, M.L. Lyons, Judith Kate Friedman, Ann Arbor, and Karen McCaskey. These are our people. These are our people, and I'm so glad. So, and as always, if you appreciate a poem or there was a line that really stood out to you, or something, put that in the chat. You can put that in the chat, and we'll go from there. So this is our celebration. This is our honoring. Woohoo! We've done it. We put out an anthology, and now let's hear some of the poems. We're gonna start with Marilyn Johnston. Take it away.
It's so terrific being with you all. And Brian, a shout out to you for giving us the inspiration to write every day for a solid year, which I know in my case was revolutionary. And the poem I chose to read is in honor of the namesake for this challenge. I had an opportunity to meet William Stafford the year before he died, and I hadn't even been writing poetry, and it was such an inspiration. So here's my poem. Dear Mr. Stafford, it's 3:45 a.m. here. I've been following you across the pages of your books on my writing desk. I've borrowed your silences, the way they flow between words, weaving them into my own. And sometimes your poems, like stones smoothed by time, skip across the surface of my thoughts like ripples that expand, intersecting as though a conversation everyone can hear. In your poem, Ask Me, I tried to channel you, inviting the incarcerated youth in my writing class to pose a searing question, point a finger at themselves in the mirror, seek an unerring truth. So thank you, William Stafford, for turning your observations into our own lenses through which to see the light, holding your poems up to our eyes, letting them bathe there. Thank you.
Ooh, wow. Thank you. And what a appropriate, wonderful first poem to read for this, to share, because really that is the gratitude. That is the gratitude. And all of us might carry that. And I love your words. Thank you. All right. So next, and I apologize, Gail, before I just said Gail Hathaway, but it's actually Gail Hathaway Tupper. And you should be able to unmute yourself, Gail. But you're still muted. I just went ahead and clicked the ask you to unmute. There you go.
Okay, there's a way to do it wrong. I always will. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm reading from Portland, Oregon, and my poem was the first one I wrote on. It's titled Untitled, which I don't really like. It should be titled January 17th, 2024. So that's my poem. There are two ways to go about it. One, which I have already practiced, is to speculate at great length and hesitate, cross out and crumple, consider every outset and every destination before taking a step. The other, unfolding now, is to take a step. Yes, it's slippery, but you know the terrain and you will be okay. This is the way, you knew it all along. Early morning, the dog and the cup and the open book. Welcome.
Thank you, Gail. And you did it perfectly. You absolutely did it perfectly. Oh, so lovely. And next, we're going to introduce Amy Leanne Richardson.
Hey y'all, it is such an honor to be here. I'm Amy Leanne Richardson, and I live on a farm in Olive Hill, Kentucky, which is in the northeastern part of our state. My poem is on page 172 if you're trying to follow along in the anthology, and it's titled We're All Pulled. The Carolina wren calling out won't hush. She's determined to find a partner before the coming storm to shelter with, to build a nest by this blooming henbit and perky bedstraw, maybe in the tree with the tire swing. Frogs call and the creek flow is constant, punctuated by the wren's urgency. I walk down the driveway, leaving the warmth of my concrete porch to feel this gritty gravel against my feet and bug bites all over my ankles. I can smell grass and dirt on the coming rain and dream about the ramps and morels waiting for me when it passes, as fresh and delicious as walking out here to see hillsides covered in green. Thank you.
Whew. Thank you, Amy. One thing that's so really special right now is the ability to hear these poems in your voices, right? I read them. I've read every single poem in this. And as I've read them, I'm hearing them in my own voice in my head. Maybe it's a little bit different voice each time because the rhythm is different, and it's really special to hear your voices. So thank you, Amy. And next we're gonna have Susan Heifley.
Hi, I'm Susan Havely. I live in Northville, Michigan, which is between Detroit and Ann Arbor. And my poem is called Waiting for Grace, and it's on page 79. To be alive is an obscuring grace. This world, too burdened, harsh remains. The young cannot escape a fate set in motion before their parents were ever born. To see what cannot be seen, to watch what cannot be born, no choice when choice is gone. Empty containers for the lost march across distant, dirty fields, each mourned without a place to stop or settle down. Barren vessels on empty altars bear witness to their absent remains. Huddling, umbrellas lifted to the rain, we wait for grace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, so moving. Yeah, Allison, is definitely so moving. Hmm. Just taking a moment in between. One of the things that I remember what I was going to say before was, when I got the original proof of the book in hand, was the first time that I actually read the whole book cover to cover from the beginning to the end in the order that it is. And the order we chose was alphabetical. So there's no great um, purpose of like arc or theme or anything, like that. And yet, and I don't know if any of you have read this book cover to cover, and that's not usually the way anthologies are read, right? Especially poetry anthologies. Usually they're just kind of randomly opened to a poem and picked, or if you're looking for a specific one. But in the process of reading it cover to cover, what I found, to my surprise and delight, was that there were these arcs that were going on, and the poems were actually talking to each other. And there might be two poems right next to each other that are very, very similar in theme. And as a collection and as a body of work, there was, at least for me reading it, there was a journey that I was going on that was really meaningful. Um, so I just wanted to share that, and I offer that, if you're able or interested or want, I do recommend trying that out of reading it from cover to cover. So thank you again, Susan. And sorry for mispronouncing your last name, Susan Hafley. Now I know that. Now we're going to call forth Seth Warren.
Thank you, Brian. I'll have to read it through and look for that arc. I'm excited to do that. I popped in and out of it, but lovely poem, Susan. Thank you for that. I'm Seth Warren. I'm based here in Portland, Oregon, and I'll be reading Island of the Narrow. Island of the Narrow, sleep upon no shoulders. Dunes become us, sand blown and riverside, flowing from a borealis hysterical where no drones are allowed. Follow Arctic cod to hot pots, serving alcohol and saga water, preserving timber lines and dreams. Burst through novice tourist bubbles, crossing over time, even dying, risking mud, fueling the survival furnace we almost stoke.
Wow. Thank you, Seth. Thank you for your words and sharing that forth and the imagery. Really appreciate that. Love hearing it. I really do. I said it before. I'm so into hearing these poems in your voices, because I'm starting to know these poems well, and so hearing them, it's familiar, but yeah, thank you. Next up is going to be Karen Evans. Hold on, Karen. Let's try that again. Oh, we're having some feedback issues. Let's see. I wonder if you turned your volume all the way down on your computer just for a moment. And now you probably can't hear me, but now try unmuting. Here, let me ask to unmute.
Can you hear me? Good. Okay. Shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Karen Evans. I'm in Berkeley, California. Glad to be here with this group. And my poem is called Dark Waters. Ready to help the young boy with his writing, I sit down in the kid-sized chair, smile at him and wait. He smooths his paper with both palms and reads softly what he has written for the class assignment about a favorite memory. This is his. A hot day in the summer when his daddy took him fishing at a lake with dragonflies. They sat together on the bank, drank cold lemonade, and dropped their lines. My daddy's gone now, he whispers. He went away and I don't think he's ever coming back. I'd do anything to find him. He slides the paper toward me. That must be so hard, I say. He nods, looks down, and waits for me to help him fix the grammar and the spelling. His pencil, now a fishing pole, clenched above dark waters. Thank you.
Are you able to hear? Did you turn your volume up? All right, so if you go ahead and
Karen,
turn.
I see that you're in the Zoom room twice. Maybe you're in here on another device. And if you remove one of them, then you won't have the feedback issue.
It's all right. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear us. Okay, great. Karen, thank you for reading your poem. That really kind of moving, and the grief and and the passion. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, we're gonna do just a real quick pause, and I'm gonna invite, I'm gonna do this one more time at the end, but I want to hear all your voices at once. So let's go ahead, and everyone who wants to unmute and just give like a little round of applause for everyone who's read so far. And then we're gonna mute you all again. So no worries. So go ahead and unmute. And just give some, yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Great. I muted you all back. It's good. It's good we don't get to do this normally. Like during the guest poets, we don't get to hear each other's voices. So I'm loving and appreciating this. So next up, um, let us welcome M.L. Lyons.
Hi, ML Lyons from Hillsboro, Oregon. Embrace me, Earthling. We are small of paw, but large of heart, Earthling. Gather us into your arms. Embrace us, for we are your true familiars, your private totems, the spirit creatures who lay our heads down tenderly on hearth and earth alike. We were born to such things. We warm your winters and sweeten your lives in summer's blaze. When you play, we will joy your every moment in countless ways. And when sorrow leans upon your shoulder and troubles your sight, and you long for the tenderness of childhood's days, we will soundlessly surround you, and with every brush of fur, fin, or wing, bare your soul, so that the very sight of us will bring your heart to heaven.
Thank you, ML. I know we're not going to do this, but it's almost like, I love the tradition that Robert Bly would do of, very often reading a poem again, right? You hear it that first time and it's just like the receiving and then hear it again the second time. We're not going to do that, just for the sake of time and stuff like that. Just for the sake of time and such like that, but it's just so beautiful hearing it. Thank you, Amel. And next up, we're gonna bring forward actually a dear friend of mine, Judith Kate Friedman.
Thank you, Brian. Ah, this is so glorious. And I'm sandwiched between your introduction and the next poet, another friend. So cool the way across the various miles we've been connected here. So, I'm Judith Kate from Port Townsend, Washington, traditional gathering place and still dwelling place of many Coast Salish peoples. My poem is Beyond the Ballet. Beyond the ballet. By time I was 8, so much had turned upside down. Daddy had flown on before Mother's Day, 5 weeks after MLK. RFK followed. I asked the rooftops, why is everyone dying? The street lamp flickered. I asked the asphalt. I asked the ailanthus. They had no answers. Then color streamed in, breaking through Chagall's windows at Lincoln Center. My aunt insisted that we take in this beauty beyond the ballet. There we stood in awe, bathed in light's shifting splendors, the whole world present. When I came back home, my mom was in the kitchen concocting magic. Viennese crescents rolled out, shaped devotedly, dusted with sugar. Something old and new gracing her face as they baked. A rare tenderness. Recipes survive. Antidotes to bitterness, sweeter with every bite.
Ooh. Thank you so much, Judith Kate. Right? Right? Look at us. We're a bunch of mad, wild poets. Look at us. I love this. I love who we are. I love hearing you all read, and just yeah, Allison is saying there's the music and beauty in that poem, and oh, and all of yours thus far that I'm hearing. Do you remember there was some time in the middle of last year when I invited everyone to really claim yourself as a poet? Some of you, have been claiming yourself as poets, for years, and others, it was hard to claim that mantle at first. Um, and ah, anyway, you're all a bunch of poets, and it's amazing. Next up, we're gonna invite forth Ann Arbor.
There we go. I'm sipping from my Stafford mug. I have to say, there is no one more enthusiastic than Brian Rohr. He just is over the top with bubbling, profusive, I guess, love and appreciation for every word that was ever written anywhere. So I'm Ann Arbor. I'm not in Michigan. I am here in Maine, holding down the eastern seaboard. I see that many of you are from the West Coast, and isn't it wonderful we can all be together? So this is my poem, Where We're Going. Outside the kitchen window, brittle leaves chase each other like spring squirrels in circles over the crusty snow. The wind intends to turn everything topsy-turvy, placing one frozen leaf in every depressed hoof print. Whatever the outside temperature may be, it's colder than that. Complaining may soothe some of us, but it won't be as useful as we hope. It's time to put on our "we're really grown up" pants and start walking. Each step matters, even if we personally never get where we're going.
Thank you, Anne, so much. And I am enthusiastic because I adore all of you. And I adore the commitment and the dedication to the creative process. And, you know, for the last two lines of your poem, Anne, I felt like, we could insert, instead of the word step, the word poem, and it would read, each poem matters, even if we personally never get where we're going. Just, I wanted to play with that. I mean, with your poems, that makes sense, but thank you. Um, and so the next poet, and the last on the list of who we knew ahead of time, who is going to read, is the poet Karen McCaskey.
Thanks, Brian. Can you guys hear me? I'm having some computer issues. Okay. You guys are all a tough act to follow, just to say. Karen McCaskey. I'm in Vail, Arizona. It's right next to Tucson, basically. And I'm going to read my poem, Awakening. It's cold tonight. She closes her drapes, beautiful burgundy shield to keep away the dark she no longer needs to see. An inner darkness surrounds and holds her now, keeps her safe from emotional harm. She waits, listening. And when the moon is full, she wanders alone, bathing in the soothing lunar light, lets it feed her magic, awaken something deep within, older than the dark, older than moonlight. An ancient spirit, yes, dragon breathing fire with knowledge of all that is mystical, breathes into her soul insatiable thirst for freedom, so she shakes the dust off her wings and flies in search of a new tomorrow. The end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Thank you so much. Ah, look at you. Look at all of you. Wow. Wow. I'm amongst brilliance. So, are there others who are also interested in reading your poems? Now that you've heard, a number of people, so go ahead. Some of you have already done this. So go ahead and raise your hand, do the raise hand feature. I see 4 people so far. And so not the thumbs, and the thumbs up may have been on purpose, but it's actually next to the reaction button at the bottom. There's a raise hand button. If you're on a cell phone, I don't know exactly how it works or where it is, but somewhere there's a raised hand. And we're going to go ahead, and I see a number of you. So let's go ahead and do this, and we'll just get started, and we'll see, how many we get through. And if we get through some when we still have time, I may call on a couple of you because I know you have wonderful poems as well. So let's go ahead and start with Erin Sim.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'll confess that I'm madly in love with Brian and everything that you've done for us. So grateful. My poem is called Promises. It's on page 190. You don't have to make promises, even to yourself. Promises are as temporary as the weather, even among the best promise makers. Our world is not designed for permanence. Weather shifts, skies cloudy or blindingly bright in the twist of a minute. Frigid air penning you indoors, frost talking to you on the window glass, or hot steamy air pinning you to a porch chair. One day it's one thing, the next it's another. One day your heart clenches with love, the next it clenches with fear. They feel the same, but the landscape is different, the characters recast. And some days the heart sits silent in your body, beating, pumping out of habit, a promise it made before your birth, which may or may not be kept. You wonder about the promises you made to yourself or another, or to the unknown force you suspect scripts the universe down to the details of your hand pressing against the frosted glass, melting the conversation between you and the frozen water, just so you can feel, just so you can feel again, just so you can bring back the clench, the love your heart felt on the sun-spattered porch, receiving an icy glass of lemonade from a hand you promised to love forever.
Erin, thank you so much. Thank you so much for raising your hand and for gifting us with your words.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Next, let us call up. Is it Branwyn? Is that how you pronounce it? Branwyn Drew?
Yes.
Great.
I'm in Rome, New York, and thank you, Brian, for this. My poem is an Abecedarian poem. It's called The New Year. Act now to save the future. Beware of threats to democracy. Change for the better will come. Disdain for the humanity of others is rampant. Events appear beyond our control. Future is uncertain. Gratitude for each other must be shown. Hatred cannot be condoned. Individuals must stand as one against tyranny. Justice for all is paramount. Know that we must fight for equal rights. Love will overcome hatred. Mount meaningful actions against bigotry. Never give up hope. Overt action must be taken. Priorities include community and stewardship. Queue up to help the needy. Reach out across chasms of misunderstanding. Seek peace and tranquility. Speak truth louder than lies. Understanding each other is needed. Victory of democracy over fascism is our goal. When to act is now. Xenophobic ideas are wrong. Yearn for peace, love, and equality. Zest for life and love will keep us going. Thank you.
Zest for life and love will keep us going. Thank you so much. And the politically difficult times we are in, I really value you reading that. So thank you so much. Nan Leah, it's good to see you. Welcome.
Hello, and thank you, Brian, and everyone for all of your hard work on this beautiful anthology. I'm Nan Leah, and I'm beaming in from the Olympic Peninsula of Washington State. I am in the Oakland Bay watershed area. And my poem, I practice poetography, and my poem has a visual component. And I was wondering if I could share my screen this evening and give you the full color version of this poem. Is that okay?
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm gonna have to change something here. Okay, yeah, go ahead and
All right, I've got it. Okay.
hold on one second. Okay, now it's up.
All right. Summer stars, and this is on page 146. Plunge into your dusky roots, rise with the forget-me-nots. They are not that different from the stars. Their azure universe organized from the inside out, with golden points of light at their center where bees thrum, then dance, so others may sip stars. Thanks for listening.
There we go. Thank you so much. Oh, and I loved having the visual of that too. That's fun. And I know it's something that in the Facebook group, a lot of people use imagery along with their poems, and it's for some of the people, it's an important part of that, allowing the image and the poetry to dance together. So thank you for sharing that. Pamela, you wanna join us?
Yes, hi. I'm Pamela, and I'm on Long Island, New York. And this poem is called Narrative Assignment. It's on page 105. I've learned to be grateful, she says, for the father who came first before taking off on his own adventure. For the mother she aspired to be like, her best friend, who found freedom across borders, only to die unexpectedly, leaving her alone to navigate the world. She's grateful, she writes, for her work, her studies, her impending graduation, a journey toward fearlessness and holding her own. She's grateful for friends who don't underrate her story. This one she rarely tells, except for now, to a blank screen and me with assignment questions on the other side. She'll be a nurse, she says. She already understands the curative power of empathy, the distinction of courage and perseverance. She's not looking for accolades or commiseration. She wants to be clear. She's grateful for those who forged a trail toward her destiny, the desperate, the brave, the love and struggle, all of it. Her words reach me where I sit, poised to enter a grade where I should be awarding a medal. Thank you.
Wow, Pamela. Thank you so much for sharing. Mm, you know, I I I hope that some of you at least will go in your local communities, find where the poets are gathering, where the open mics are happening, or maybe you'll put on a reading yourself, and bring this book out and take it and share your words. Um, each and every one of you thus far, it's not just the potency of your words, but also how you're reading and sharing your words, and the energy behind it is so moving. Um, so, um, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Next is Aliyah. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, Brian, for putting together this anthology of amazing poets. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and read. Oh, I'm from Maryland, the East Coast. So I'm gonna go ahead and read my poem. My poem is titled "A Plate of Grief." Grateful for the laughter of relatives despite clip exchanges, smiling while evading hollow eye contact. Curious cousins whose fathers are still here, not knowing the right words to say, bringing baskets of food to sit until cold atop counters already filled with 3 casseroles, along with a carved roast to be heated when they return. Yet my plate remains empty, even with food still empty. Steady drip of tears pooling until sealing my lips shut. Craving to intake water to escape its parchedness, seeking in a sea of blackness, repelling any gestures of love, suspended, engulfed by morning, still drowning. Checkered panes become my eyes' safe resting place, staring at the last blackberries hanging from the fence line, while the sunset's harmony graces the horizon, loosens its embrace to the quiet chill of nightfall. Stillness is interrupted by a dying orange meteorite procession lighting the sky as my heart bursts and grief spills out. Crawling to the fridge at 2 a.m., ravishly filling my mouth, trying to hold on to any bit of you left long past your repast. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you. Thank you for gifting us with your words, with your heart, with your passion. Thank you. And I don't know if everyone who's reading, take a look at the chat. People are really writing how moved they are, as well as lines, that are really standing out. So, mm, thank you. Next up, let's welcome Joe Taylor.
Hi, I'm from the South, Covington, Georgia, right outside Atlanta. My poem is on page 207 called Tacos, Cracks, and Song. Today I walked the shadowed path at noon to the town square. Careful my flip-flops don't hang on the raised and broken stones of Lidasu Lane. Up the hill and to the right, through dogwoods decked out for spring. I trudge past First Baptist Church and the Lucky Day Taco and Tequila Bar, stopping at the window of the vinyls and skateboard shop to study the skeleton's mocking and twisted torso like that of the Mona Lisa at the Louvre. What will you do with these brief hours and days? What will you offer the path? Suddenly the day brightens and the blood-stained flowers raise their heads and the cracks in the sidewalk transforms into art. I too lift my head toward the heavens and offer a prayer of thanksgiving for 71 seasons of the dogwood in bloom, for tacos and shadows and sunshine and song, for asphalt fissures and concrete cracks, for the thistles that push up through them.
Wonderful. Oh, the details that are in there, the story, the sense of place. Thank you so much.
We can't hear you, Brian.
Oh my gosh, did you not hear anything that I was saying?
After so much, we didn't.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and get through the next three poets that have their hands raised to be able to read their poems, and then I'll kind of do the final announcements and a few other things that I want to do. Oh, Tamara, did you just sneak in there and get your
Oh,
hand
they were
raised?
up before.
Oh, okay. No worries. Then we'll do the next four. No worries at all. No worries at all. But after these four, we'll be done with the poems. Then we'll do some announcements and then say goodbye. So next will be Andy Smith.
Hi all. I'm reading here from Austin, Texas, and my poem is Small Wall on page 192. And it's in memory of my neighbor Marilyn, who died on the final day of this challenge. Let's extend this small wall, she said, and create a flat spot on the slope for this ancient rock with a fossil on its face to sit. Help me, if you would, pull a basket out of stone and soil for these flowers to spill out of. These rocks I found need a job to do. I started this earlier, but my strength is gone, and my breath leaves suddenly like a shy and anxious visitor. And maybe you will enjoy it too, these flowers on fire and spilling sage leaves as you come and go. So I set to work, or a more serious form of play, putting one rock on another, nestling them into the slope and each other. And she sat on her stoop companionably, speaking of nothing at all. Within an hour it was done, and there, among the rocks and flowers, we both left some small part of ourselves in that small wall.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you so much. Next, we will invite up Mary Fletcher. Hold on one second. Are you able to unmute yourself, Mary? There we go.
Thank you. I'm Mary Eichhorn Fletcher. I'm from an old small mill town in Collinsville, Connecticut. I want to thank you, Brian, in particular, but everyone here who is sharing this special night with me. The title of my poem is Beaver Moon Midnight. For those of you who don't know, the beaver moon is the full moon which appears in November of each year. Beaver Moon Midnight. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Isaiah 41:10. In the still of this night, with its hard, cold air, when the moon waxes larger and largest yet, strange signs, and the last of the 4 supermoons has marched in a row, and the silence is filled with treachery and omens of what is, or perhaps is, to come. It is then that I listen for the loons and the lake and the heliotrope so recently passed to sing their sad songs and croon their sweet perfumes and sigh their long sighs. And the sighs of this moon and this lake and this night and the keens of the dark purple flower make me long now for the softness of spring and not to tremble in fear. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much for reading. And Vanessa Proctor.
Hello from Sydney, Australia. I live on the land of the Darramurrugal people, and I'm so thrilled to be part of a wonderful community of poets. So thank you, Brian. My poem is on page 168, Library. The electric doors of the library slide open to quietude at the beginning of this ordinary day. All's in order, every book in its place, librarians positioned behind their desks. Words and ideas are neatly stacked, vibrating within their soft-stitched enclosures, waiting for the curious to come. Unleash them, watch them burst from their paper beds, shining and resonant into the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa, so much. And thank you for joining us all the way, all the way from Australia. Oh, which is probably in the middle of the night there, maybe morning.
No, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so perfect timing. Thank
Oh,
you.
totally perfect timing. Wonderful. Thank you. Oh, you know who would be really proud of all of us? William Stafford would be. I never got to meet him. But from everything I've read, the videos I've seen, Kim telling stories and whatnot, I think the thing that, one of the things at least that he really valued was people who were dedicated to the creative process and just searching their own hearts and soul, and putting it on paper, putting word on paper, and doing so with grace and love and humility and passion, just like all of you. So now, last poet that's going to read, I am so excited to welcome you, Tamara. Oh, you're muted.
Putting my hand down first. I'm sorry that I got in at the end and that was just an impulse, but you're so gracious. And I know as creative people and as poets, we all are so grateful for your technical ability to handle all of this with such grace and flawlessness. So I can tell you, we are all very, very grateful. So my poem is called Metamorphosis. I was reading Ovid last year. I was just trying to understand change, and Metamorphosis is a wonderful book of change. So this is my poem. Metamorphosis. As readily as the moon eclipsed the sun, as smoothly as Io slipped on her heifer skins, as Daphne raised her arms into laurel branches, so did Echo unname herself. From the autumnal leaf to soil, a stump abandoned to burrow, a sunken pit to pond, a fallow field to flower, due to, as to, unto, onto, into. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara, so much. Oh, wow. Wow. Look at us. I know I said it before, but look at us, hear us, receive us. I know that I'm like filled up right now. Just, I love the arts and I love the creative process and I love poetry. And now I love hearing all of you read the poems and wondering, should we do an audiobook? I don't know. Maybe some of you will send in your recordings. Maybe it won't be like an audiobook formal. Maybe a place on the website that we could have recordings of people. What do you think? Give me, maybe. I don't know. Would you be willing to like record your poem and send it in? I don't know. Check it. Maybe I'll send out an email, see if those who are interested. But it seemed like some of you are interested in that. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot of work to put that up. Maybe someone who's good with websites or something can brainstorm with me. So I said that was the last poem, but actually the one I'm going to read is the last poem. Because whoever of you that were on the Zoom call, I forgot what I called it, but the ceremony, the end ceremony celebration, we all wrote a collective poem together. And it was so brilliant that I put that as the last poem in this book. And I'm going to read it. And for you, those of you that weren't there, what you may not know is that I asked everyone, to write a short, few words, a short sentence or just a line of poetry, in honor of us completing the first year of the Stafford Challenge. And we put it together in exactly the order that it came in the chat. So this poem is the exact order. Nothing was moved around. The only thing that was done was that, it was kind of placed into stanzas, and a little bit of punctuation cleanup. But otherwise, this is what was received. And it's called Poetry Unlocked My Jail Cell, our Stafford Challenge parting poem. Excuse me. The river passing, yes, is never gone. Curiosity pulsing till the final breath. Though I step away, the voices continue. From waiting to losing to heaven, my bare feet stepping in frost, rooted in the dark, the end has only just begun. Discord, lost, remembering, I'm connected. 7,300 poems left to go, a lifetime begun. I turn the page and begin again. Forward with strangers turned into friends, I stood, inhaled, and stepped forth. Here we sit, tethered by our words. To join with other voices, tender green buds became fiery blossoms. Does the seed die when it opens? From waiting to losing to heaven, what may come along the path a prisoner once? Everything so prone to breakage, I'm eating my tail again. Endings and beginnings become one. Wow, right? Those are 3 different poets writing that in different places across the country. Everything so prone to breakage, I'm eating my tail again. Endings and beginnings become one. It was dark at the beginning. Lie in the grass, keep dreaming. Before I ever began, the end had me beguiled. Until we are parted by death, a basket full of poems delivered at the doorstep. I dreamt of falling. I never landed. Finally, zipped into the flannel-lined sleeping bag, the stars fell, pain poured through my pen, wild butterflies linger still, asleep. It changed me because I let it. Beginnings, not seeking a finish, but a journey, first words or last lines, keep writing. Poetry unlocked my cell. Discord lost, remembering I'm connected. Beginning, not seeking a finish, but a journey. The best endings are also beginnings. I stitch stories together because you also were sewing, not a beginning or an ending, continuing. I near, never touching journey's end, write the poem and set it free. 2024 will be reborn as a book. It's finished. Now we can begin. A prisoner once, poetry unlocked my cell, heart quickens with life. Beats ecstatic, pause, beat complete, connect and reconnecting. That's what writing is all about. Staring into the dark until the light appears. 1,000 seeds, each sprouting its own wispy parachute. Small, timid, a blank page fills, suspended in the silent symphony. I listen. Being roped in, it's time to let go and fly. In my goodbye, remembering our hello, pouring thoughts on page as therapy. Seeds of thoughts, bouquet of friends. I draw the curtains and step away. Open the window. The world rushes in. A year of words to paper, roots transform to wings and fly, cuddled the wee hours away. It changed me because I let it. You made all the difference. Sifting thoughts lead to mosaic understanding. Wheeling through time, space, beginnings, endings merge. Something forgotten, remembered again, enlightened and enriched, we grow. That was our poem. Many of us wrote that together. We are really good collaborators. That's right, Holly. So here we are. Here we are, having listened to each other, celebrating the launch of this anthology. Before we say goodbye, there's just a couple of things that I want to do. One is obviously if you haven't purchased this book, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. And I know, and here's also a 15 percent off coupon. I know some of you we're having troubles with the coupons. I don't know why. I keep testing it on like incognito mode and putting in a different email and making sure and it seems to work on my end. I hope you can get the 15% off. That'd be great. It's on lulu.com. They're the printers of the book. So in the chat is that and the case matters, by the way, when you're putting in the coupon code. Anyway, so there's that. But also I want everyone here, if you're willing, this is a willing thing, to just make a commitment to do one of a few things, or maybe more than one, to really help promote this book, because it is a beautiful thing, and I do think it deserves to be out in the world and in people's hands. One is you can write a review on Amazon.com. Not that I specifically want people to go to Amazon.com to buy it per se, but it is a place where people go to buy books and also to read reviews about books and get to know. Goodreads is also a great spot. You don't have to have purchased the book on Amazon to write a review there, and it doesn't have to be on Amazon or Goodreads. It could be other bookstores as well. But if you are sincerely liking this book, write a review. And you can even admit that you're in the book, and that's okay. You can say you're, amongst many wonderful poets that are in the book. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. You don't have to raise your hand, but who is willing to write a review for this book somewhere? All right. I see a couple of you raise your hand. Awesome. Perfect. So you go ahead and do it. And you can even write a bigger review, submit it to your local paper or a publication, or something like that. That's pretty amazing as well if you want to. The second thing, and this is something I hope everyone will raise their hand and commit to do. It's a very kind of what they say low-hanging fruit thing that you can do that can get it in front of a lot of people is write to your local library and request that they get a copy. Libraries love supporting local artists, in their own hometown. They really do. I mean, they're all about books. They're all about writers. They find out you're in a book. Yeah, they would love to do that. The book is available in all the common ways that libraries order books. So most libraries have a link on their website to request or suggest a purchase. Go ahead and do that, or just walk into your library, ask them how, or you can call them. I'm going to go ahead. I sent an email out before that had all the information that a library would need. I'm putting it in the chat right now. I know it's a lot. If you can copy it from there. If you need the ISBN number, you can always get it from the page where you can purchase the book. Or on the back of the book as well. But if you don't have the book in hand, that's other places you can get it. If you have to put an author down, put my name. I know I'm the editor for it, but sometimes they don't say author or editor. So just put my name down as the author. And that's a way. Who's willing to do that? Who's willing to reach out to your local library? Awesome. Great, great, great. And 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 then otherwise just share it on social media. Let your friends and family know about it. Share it with people, buy it as a gift for people. It's something to be so proud of. And I hope you are. I know I am. So let's get it in people's hands. It's a great thing. Anyway, that's enough of that. I love you all. Those of you who are members of this year's Stafford Challenge, just a reminder that next Thursday is the guest editor series presentation with Timothy Green from Rattle. So be sure to register for that if that's something that's of interest to you. And otherwise, I love you all. Let's stay in touch. Send me an email. Let me know how you're doing. And I'm excited to, you know, uh, read through this whole long chat thread. Oh, and someone had asked also about where to get the mug that we're drinking from. I made a little store because so many people were asking, like, hey, do you have mugs? Do you have a notebook that says Stafford Challenge on it and stuff? And finally, I got off my butt and made a little store. So if you're interested, it has some things there. So here's the link for it. And you can go there. So anyway, I adore you. Thank you. You can unmute right now and just give a giant round of applause for everyone and yourself and say hello and goodbye to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're fabulous.
Wonderful.
Beautiful evening. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.